Hi, I'm Dr. Angela McKaye, chiropractor and naturopathic physician, and it is Tactical Thursday. So I want to give you some really practical tips to think about throughout your day to maximize your ability to digest and absorb nutrition. So the first thing you want to do, we talked about in the first video, was to maximize the chances that you're going to be in a parasympathetic rest and digest state. So that is doing exercise, managing stress, meditation, maybe saying grace of some sort, regardless of what your religious background is, before meals, but just sitting down and centering yourself and being in a peaceful space to eat lunch. Making sure that you take the time to sit down and eat. And we talked about breakfast and how important that can be. Make sure that you're not just grabbing something as you're rushing out the door. If you're working from home or if you're in the office, do not eat at the same place that you're working. So pick yourself up and sit at the kitchen table, or sit in a different spot in the kitchen table if you're working at the table. But create a different space that is just about eating and digestion and relaxation that has nothing to do with your workspace. That can be really important for setting the stage for good digestion. Remember that pool business where your mom told you don't eat and then you can't swim for a couple hours because you'll get a cramp and drown? That's not necessarily true, but when you are active right after you eat, all that blood that should be going there and picking up the nutrition from your gut lining, you want that to stay there to pick up that nutrition. You don't want to shunt all that blood out to the muscles for you to go swimming or running or doing whatever. Likewise, do not eat while you're standing up and walking around. If you're going to be eating, have a seat and sit down and let yourself digest your food, and then give yourself a little bit of time, and then you can go run around. I took life saving in college as one of my gym classes, and I had a burrito for breakfast because it was college and was like microwave burrito was the thing. And then I had to swim for time to make my time trials to stay in the class. And I made my time trial, but I can tell you the immediately after the time trial was not a pretty sight. So you need your blood flow to the GI tract to be steady there and not shunted other places so that you can digest your food. Digestion starts in the mouth. So preferably, if you can, be around the food that's being made as much as possible. You want to see it, you want to smell it, you want to experience it, because from the get-go, you start to get hungry when you start cooking or you start smelling foods cooking, and that starts salivation, which is where digestion starts, right? You have this whole system set up and your body anticipates that food is coming. So you start creating saliva, you start creating some stomach acid, and you start the process of digestion. Your body starts to expect the food coming. Along with that, you want to make sure you chew. I had a teacher in naturopathic school who used to say, chew your food 31 times. And he would always pick a weird odd number, I think it was 31, so that you would count and keep that in your head. I'm not going to tell you to say 31 times exactly, but make sure you're chewing it well so it's in a mostly liquid state. Don't swallow something that's a lump. You don't want to drink a lot of water or other liquids while you're eating. Water is going to dilute your digestion, it's going to dilute your stomach acid, and it's good to have drinks separate from your food. So as much as I think it's important to stay hydrated, you don't want to do that with your food for the most part. And then enjoy your time eating with some friends or family members without arguments or disagreements as much as possible, and have that time to come together and have a positive experience. That's going to lead to better digestion and better nutrition and absorption. Finally, you should stop eating in the evening at least 2 hours before bedtime. You want to time this so that you're not going to bed hungry, because it's really hard to sleep if you're hungry, but you also don't want to eat right before bed. In the same way that blood goes to your muscles when you have to get up and move around, and that blood's not available for digestion, when you're sleeping, even though you're not necessarily moving around, that blood flow doesn't really go towards digestion. Everything slows down, digestion slows, and you just basically have like a rock of food in your stomach while you're sleeping, which isn't conducive to sleep, and it's not conducive to digestion. So make sure that you cut off your eating time a couple hours before bed. All right, there are some tips for you to get started in having healthier digestion, and I will talk to you next time.